You got a new challenge this year, a lot of new faces in the building. What excites you about that and having it be just a much different team than it was a year ago?
Talent.
Yeah.
I like this group a lot. I like their talent. I like their upside. I think we were very intentional in our recruiting with positional size, with shooting. I think this team's going to have some nights when I don't know, maybe we make 20, 25 threes. I think this is a team that has a chance to grow defensively because of our size. And it takes a minute. It takes a little bit of chemistry and work and grit, and we're trying to establish that here in practice. But I think potentially maybe as deep a team as we've had. We'll see how that all plays out. Mm-hmm. But even though there's a lot of new faces, there's a lot of there's experience with the three veterans.
Yeah.
Transfers. They've got 60 games under their belt. I think people should evaluate that as much as they do just the fact they're new.
Right.
They've got college games under their belt. And, then we got a freshman group that's as talented as any we've had.
Yeah. I know how hard you coach your guys and how straight you shoot them. When you're recruiting, I mean, is it as simple as just telling them that? But you're probably not going to have a guy say, okay, well, I don't want it. But how do you find out they don't want it, even if they won't tell you?
Time plays that out. I think when you get into practice, I think one of the challenges is there's really two parts to this. When you start practice, there's 10 guys on the court. So nobody really knows what playing time looks like.
Yeah.
Once games start, we've had 2 exhibition games to this point. We've played everybody. That was the intent. It was not to win. It was not to make scouting report adjustments. It wasn't any of that. It was to find a base. And now once you start playing games to win, you're gonna put your best guys out there. You're gonna put the guys that have separated themselves. And I think that'll ultimately determine roles and identities that we have to be successful as we move towards March.
Yeah. Are things different in recruiting now in that I think about things that maybe would have been red flags before. If they wanted money, that wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had been at 2 or 3 schools and now we're looking for a third one, that was like a red flag. And these things are now normal. Is that just kind of what you've had to accept, is that things that would have been, I don't know if concerning is the right word, before now are...
Yeah, we still do a deep dive into character. Young men who compete and want to compete. Young men who want to be at the University of Illinois, because it's a special place to get their degree. It's a special place to play basketball with sellout crowds, the Orange Crush, a great student body that supports them. So I think that we haven't varied in terms of what we're looking for. Our culture's the most important thing to us. It's allowed us to be very successful the last 5 years. But to do that, it is different in the fact now I use the term speed dating. It happens so much quicker.
Yeah.
NIL's a good thing. I'm not avoiding that question. It is. It's a good thing. But young people today are it's not why they're coming to our program, and it's a big piece to their puzzle. But it's still winning. It's still being a part of Illinois basketball that's the driving force.
Last one on recruiting here, but these international guys, did you meet all of them? Did you get them on campus? How does this work? Is there a lot of Zoom meetings? Are you maybe using some coaching connections, mutual friends?
Yeah, it's a relationship-based business, and NIL has opened the doors, especially to guys like KJ and Tommy, who are top flight guys, and they're guys that are potentially NBA guys, or are going to play basketball professionally for a long time in Europe. So NIL's opened those doors, and it's relationships based with agents, with connections over there. Jeff Alexander has done an incredible job in the last 3 to 4 years of building those relationships, getting to know the agents, getting to know all the players. We're evaluating over there down to 16 and unders. Jeff doesn't miss many of those events. Orlando's had experience in that in traveling the world and recruiting internationally, and so with those two guys, we feel like we've got a great connection. But there's Zooms. We took a trip over, kind of a 4-day, 4-country trip in the spring, and guys will get the best feel that they can and make their decisions based on a lot of conversations.
Yeah, you beat me to bringing up Orlando. I wanted to ask just how much you're enjoying working with him every day again.
Yeah, it's great to have him back. I say this that he's probably we consider him the GOAT. He's as assistant coaches go, he's been at some great programs. He has seen what it looks like. He's a great connector of people. He's a magnet. People are drawn to him, and then he's great for me. He's a guy that keeps the office light. He's funny, great sense of humor, and a guy that knows what he's talking about when it comes to basketball. So he's been great for our bigs, and it's always comforting to have a guy that you respect and that you admire so much back.
Absolutely. I want to ask about Dre, because I think we've talked a lot about Ty's leadership, and rightfully so, and there's been so much talk about the transfers and the newcomers. I almost feel like people aren't talking about Dre, and then he's your leading scorer. I know it was an exhibition game, but what does he bring, and does he maybe have a bigger role than maybe some people on the outside are realizing?
Yeah, I don't worry too much about the people on the outside because they're not here every day. But I said this about Dre last year. He's the one guy I felt that grew as much as anybody, and started the year off and had some good games early, and then kind of had a really tough January and had to go through the learning curve and then fought his way through it and was tremendous late in the year. I was really starting to build some trust in him. He's a gifted offensive player. He can just go off on tangents that we haven't had a guy like him. I mean, he can really score the basketball. Last year he was a tremendous defender. I think we'll start to see that value this year. He fouled too much as a freshman. He's gotten stronger, but I'm excited about his role this year and what he can be, because he's a very gifted offensive talent.
You talked about this team needed to get better defensively. When you're coaching that, is it more about trying to get them to have the fire? Is it a technique thing, a little bit of both, or scouting? Like, what goes into taking guys and making them better defenders?
There's some scheme. There's no doubt.
Right.
We've made some subtle changes to our schemes. And it's something that we haven't been bad at. You don't win if you're a bad defensive team, but getting guys, especially freshmen, to talk, to communicate. Communication is such a big part of it. To get guys to understand that you got to play through fatigue, you got to play hard. And then, really at this level, though, I think one of the biggest challenges is you can do everything right, and the players are so good they're going to make a basket.
Yeah.
And you can't hang your head, and you've got to keep that internal fight going to win the next battle. And getting young people to understand that sometimes, not get dejected, not pout. Those are things that we've got to continue to work on. But chemistry and ultimately, the defensive side is about not making mistakes.
Yeah. I'll close with this one because I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask. Have you guys gotten a status update on Tommy, or still waiting for news there?
No, we have gotten a status update on Tommy. He's been cleared for this season. He's got a few things that the NCAA is having him do in terms of. I think he's losing a year of eligibility, and then he has to pay a small amount to a charity.
Okay.
But the important thing is he's eligible and ready to move on with the season. So he's considered a sophomore, and we're darn glad we've got him.
All right, Coach, we're excited to watch Tommy and the rest of your team next week.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, and have a great season.
Thanks.
And see everybody in State Farm.
Yeah, thanks for your time.